Hi, Tim. I hope I did. My French is not so good.
Yay!
Philippines. Oh my gosh.
Wow,
It's
midnight.
in the
Wow, it's
Philippines.
late.
Wow, thanks
We
for
appreciate
staying
your vacation.
on a school night too. Thank you. All right.
Great to have everyone. Syria, Turkey. We've got people from all over.
Yes, we love that you're joining us.
Nepal,
oh my
Zambia.
goodness, Nepal. Wow. Hi, Sonia. Yes, Sonia, Alyssa and I are in Arizona
Yes.
and Phoenix. Hi, Walter in Canada, Anastasia in Ukraine. Welcome.
Indonesia as well.
Wow.
It's great to see everyone again.
Oh my goodness.
Well.
Yes, you're in Bahrain. Wow. Well, do we want to get started?
Yeah.
All right, so here we go. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Arizona State University's Teach English Now's December 2025 webinar, 7 Things I Wish I Knew When I Started Teaching. So we're going to get started. My name is Jessica Cinco, and I am co-hosting this webinar. I'm one of the course instructors on Arizona State University's 150-hour TESOL certificate course on Coursera called Teach English Now. If my voice sounds a little bit different today, it's because I have a cold, and I hope that you can still understand me. I'm also joined by my co-host, Alyssa Nostis from ASU. Alyssa, can you say hi and introduce yourself?
Yes, thanks, Jessica. Hello, everyone. Luckily, I'm not sick so far, knock on wood. But it's so great to be here and to have another opportunity to see everyone and to be at this webinar. I work with Jessica at ASU Global Launch, and I primarily work as a teacher trainer and an instructional designer. So it's great to see everyone, and I'll turn it back over to Jessica.
Thanks so much, Alyssa. So we are joined today by an accomplished expert in the TESOL field, and I'm absolutely delighted to introduce Jennifer Ratio-Lebedev. She has more than 25 years of teaching experience, and online since 2007, she offers live instruction and creates a range of digital content. Her YouTube channel, English with Jennifer, has over 1 million subscribers and 100 million views to date. She was on Pearson's writing team for vocabulary power and Next Generation Grammar. Her ELT blog, launched in 2008, received an Eddie Award in 2010. In November 2022, Jennifer published a collection of personal reflections entitled Being a YouTuber, One Creator's Bumpy Road to 1 million subscribers. She has recently embarked on a speaking journey focused on building healthy learner mindset. Jennifer, thank you so much for joining us. I'm so excited you're here today. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm so sorry you're not at your top form, but thank you for being here, Jessica, and thank you, everyone. I'm super excited to do this.
You're so welcome. Delighted to have you with us. Alyssa, do you want to discuss some of our housekeeping items?
Yes. I'm sorry, I'm having problems with my screen. Just give me 1 second. Okay, so just really quickly, we just wanted to go over some housekeeping items. So the Q&A is for questions or comments to the presenter or the host, so please feel free to post there. The chat, of course, is for introducing yourself and answering questions from the presenter. And just because of time, we will only respond to questions related to the webinar content. If you have any questions about our TESOL course or anything else, please post this on our Facebook pages. And we are recording this webinar, and we will make that recording available in about a week or so on our Facebook page, and I'll also send it out via Coursera. And just so you know, certificates will not be issued for attending this webinar. So now I'll turn it over to Jennifer for her great content. Let me stop sharing. Sorry.
Let's see if we can work our magic here.
Yes. Girl.
Isn't that amazing?
Mhm.
Okay, everyone could see me well, hear me well, give me a thumbs up, say yes, we can hear you. Yes, we can see you. Great to have everyone. I'm excited to see all those countries. It's amazing to gather together. So, hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I'm Jennifer Ratio Lebedev. Super excited and delighted to share this time with you. Thank you, Jessica. Thank you, Alyssa, for the opportunity. And, guys, I'm going to be sharing with you TESOL certificate course on Coursera called Teach English Now. If my voice sounds a little bit different today, it's TESOL certificate course on Coursera called Teach English Now. If my voice sounds TESOL certificate course on Coursera called Teach English Now. If my voice sounds a little bit different today, I wanted to share what I had researched. We could choose any topic, so I chose something that was of interest to me at the time. And I thought, oh, my classmates need to know this. I was so excited to share. And I made that important discovery that the power of passion and purpose was stronger than my fear. And that helped me step out of my comfort zone. And I started to grow as a speaker. It didn't mean I never became nervous again, but it was that realization that passion and purpose were stronger than my fear. So I just want you to remember that as you face challenges in your teaching career over the years, because fear never fully goes away, it's okay to be afraid. It's okay to be nervous. Just tap into your passion, tap into the purpose, be aware of it, and believe that whatever it is that you plan to share has value. Okay. Now, I don't remember anyone sharing secrets with me about what they wish they had known when I first started teaching. I had a supervisor when I was a teacher trainee. I had the practicum. I took education related courses. Oh, but there were still so many insights I had yet to gain. And we still always have much more to learn, all of us. But my goal today is just to fill a tiny little gap maybe for you of maybe it's something that you didn't know, or maybe you just need to hear it from someone else. So I'm sharing those 7 things I wish I knew. But let me tell you first about my early years of teaching. I started teaching, oh my gosh, age reveal, in 1994. And I just graduated from college. I had my degree in Russian studies. And I was finishing up my teaching practicum in Russian. And I was in my hometown of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. But it was there that I realized the limits of my proficiency. I recognized where my supervisor was with her proficiency in Russian and where I was. The point is, when I stepped into that classroom for the first time, I wasn't as strong as I wanted to be, but I knew I was strong enough to still be of help, to still be of value, and that was important. I just recognized I needed to grow. I needed to develop my fluency. I yet had to build up more pedagogy and methodology, but I still had something to offer at that point. So I eventually enrolled in graduate school, and it took me over to Moscow, Russia to finish up my graduate work. But that's also where I switched over to teaching English. I had not trained to teach English. I had been training to teach Russian. So I was learning as I went along, lesson by lesson, week by week. So the first thing I wish I knew was you don't have to know everything. You don't. No one knows everything. But you do need to know how to get answers. You need to seek knowledge and seek growth. So look for professional development. You guys are already doing it because you're here today. Give yourself a pat on the back. I taught for a few years before realizing that professional associations existed. I didn't know. And then I found out, oh my gosh, what's this thing called TESOL? What is that? And I went to conventions, and I still do. Today you have online courses, there are books, collaborations are a wonderful thing to do. What I'm doing with Alyssa and Jessica is part of my personal and professional growth. So there are many ways to grow. You don't have to know everything at any point, but you do have to know how to get answers. So here's a question for all of you right now. Who can you turn to? Can you list in the chat 2 to 3 people that you can turn to? You can write their names, who they are. You don't necessarily have to explain to us, but I want you to know that you have people to turn to. Who are they? When you have doubts, when you have questions, when you need support, do you have 2 to 3 people? Write their names. Who are they? Maybe Alyssa, just you guys can write them. You'd write each other's names, right?
Yeah, I would definitely write Alyssa's name in the chat. So often I'm like, Alyssa, what do you think about this?
Brother, sister for support, or fellow classmate because you're going through this together.
Yeah.
Who do you turn to?
So we've got definitely a lot of family members listed here in the chat.
Love that.
Love it.
Other teachers
Yes.
and
yes.
supervisors.
Yes.
Friends also.
Yes. And the important thing here, guys, is to know this circle, it doesn't have to be huge. It can be small. And the number and who they are might change over time. So it can expand, it can contract, the names will change. But you need to know you're not in this alone. There are people that you can turn to, and you need to develop that circle, whether you call it a network or your circle, your inner circle. And hopefully you can see that you too should be part of someone's circle because it's a give and take. Can people turn to you for support? Can your classmates and colleagues turn to you when they have questions? So remember, you want to have your circle and aim to be in somebody else's too, okay? Yes, I wish I knew you didn't have to know everything, but it's okay. We gain the knowledge and we have the support. We're all going to be okay. I also wish I knew that all skills matter. That's number 6. All skills matter. We have to be aware of how these skills are connected. We have to learn how to teach and integrate them. So during my first year or so, I stuck pretty closely to the assigned textbooks. That was my guide. But even then, I knew that sometimes I had to add an explanation or add an activity to address my students' questions and their needs. The textbook didn't have everything. No matter what textbook you're assigned, no matter what course you have to teach at this moment, remember that all skills are connected. And learners need, to varying degrees, direct study of these skills, which means grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation, listening, speaking, reading, writing. You are not going to pack that all into a single lesson necessarily, but you need to have that awareness of how the skills are interconnected so that you can properly address their needs and their questions. This is something to develop over time, okay? I want you to ask yourself when you're teaching and at the end, have I served my students well in this lesson? I know you have your objective on the lesson plan, but ask yourself, did I serve them well? Are they able to use the language for that target objective? That's what it's all about. So just as an example, let's say we're all going to have to teach simple past more than once in our career, many times. Regular verbs ending with D or ED. So one of the first things you need to know, form, right? Are you prepared to help students who still get confused when to add D or ED? Do you know the rules? If they're not coming to you quickly, do you know where to get them? Right? But here's a challenge for you. Pronunciation usually comes into play, I think, when you teach the simple past. Can anyone put in the chat, do you anticipate that challenge? What might learners feel challenged about when they're saying walked, climbed, or started? Or they hear you saying started, so they say climbed, right? I have lived here my whole life, or lived here. What is the challenge of those ED endings in terms of pronunciation? Yes, okay, so ED generally goes as the ending, but if it ends in E already, like live, you just add on the D. But do you hear the difference? Lived versus walked, right? Yes, it's the T or D sound, T, D, or the extra syllable like started, right? So that's something, if you're like, oh, I kind of forgot that, it's okay. But these are things you're going to have to develop awareness of. And this is an example of how pronunciation is connected to grammar, or grammar is connected to pronunciation. So when students, even advanced students, come to me and say, I want to focus only on pronunciation, I'm like, okay. But in my mind, I'm thinking that. I know that other skills are going to come into play, okay? So what is foremost in your mind, right? But how will you serve your students well? I also wish I knew that you must be flexible and ready to adapt. Okay, you all know how to write lesson plans, right? Say thumbs up. I know, Jennifer. I know what a lesson plan is. Yes? Yes? Okay, but lesson plans guide us, but we need to adapt according to our students' performance, right? What we're seeing. So, what if the tasks or activities turn out to be harder or easier than you thought? What if your time estimates were off? You might have less time or more time. Are you ready to adapt? You need to ask yourself, what's my backup plan? Are you allowed to spill over to the next lesson? Right? What does the timeline look like? But here's something we can brainstorm together right now. Can you list in the chat one thing you can do with extra time at the end of a lesson? And please don't say, I'll just let them go on their phones. Right? Or just chat, whatever language you want. No. What could you do with the extra 5 minutes or 10 minutes if what you planned was covered? And we can have fun with this. We can come back to this if time allows at the end of our session together today. But what would you do? Games. Okay, be specific. What
Yeah,
kind
we
of
got
game?
lots of games. Someone said Simon Says, charades or shadowing.
Love Simon Says if you want to focus on passive listening. Yeah?
Well, using something called worldwall.net.
Wordwall.
As-
Yep.
Vocabulary games, word searches, word wall activities,
Kahoot.
name games,
Good.
one word story, Kahoot, idiom.
Yes, I love what Weem said. Do
Bamboozle.
something about what you learned. Games, but you can choose your bag of tricks. Everyone should develop your bag of tricks, like your backup plan, and you know you can pull something out at any time. I also encourage you to have a mix, something with technology like Kahoot, Wordwall, but you also need to go back to the basics. What if technology fails you? Are you ready to do something just speaking only or on paper, whatever? You need to have the backup plan always that could also be the not digital version of it, right? Explain something. Yep. Q&A, right? That's a good way to do it. Asking questions. Having students ask questions and see if the classmates can first answer. There's a great one. How many of you know 20 questions, right? 20 questions where, let's say you can start with the teachers being the person answering so everyone understands the game, and then you could have students be the ones to answer. If I just taught the simple past in a game of 20 questions where people have to ask 20 yes or no questions to figure out who or what I'm thinking of, I might choose a person who lived in the past to force them to ask, wait, is this person alive? And I'll say no. Oh, did this person live a long time ago? Yes. Did they live in America? No. Did they live in Europe? Yes. Were they famous? Yes. And through those questions, they might finally figure out that I'm thinking of Joan of Arc or Napoleon or something, right? Review phrasal verbs. 3, 2, 1, write down. Love it. What's your takeaway from today? I love that suggestion, Samira. Yeah, I think just briefly to demonstrate, there's so many tricks you could pull out of the bag. The if game is something I played with Alyssa and Jessica the other day, right? Jessica might not be able to talk, but Alyssa, do you remember that game?
I do. It was a lot of fun.
You can do it with real or unreal conditionals. You can target those first, second, third, whatever you want. But the idea is that you go around and you listen to what people are saying and you take the half of that statement and put it in the next one. So if I say, if I had a plane, I would fly to Italy, Alyssa. Alyssa needs to say, if
I could fly to Italy, I would go find the best gelato in all of Italy.
Ooh, Jessica, want to play?
Yes, I do. If I found the best gelato in all of Italy, I would never leave Italy.
If I never left Italy, I would have to marry an Italian guy.
I'm not sure I want to go there, actually. Sorry.
So around and around it goes, around and around. You You could also then switch to real conditionals if that's what you want to practice. So that's a game you pull out, especially if you are practicing conditional statements. So there are a number of games that will tie in very nicely
provide training?
To certain grammar topics. And if we have time, I can share some of my favorite vocabulary games too. But bag of tricks. And share, remember the circle? Who's in your circle? Do you have people to turn to ask, what do you do? What games do you know? And learn from each other.
And Jennifer, really,
Oh,
sorry, go on.
go ahead. No, so sometimes I ask them about what skill they'd like to learn. Ask them what they need for next time. Love it.
Yes, and I was going to chime in and say, excuse me, in our courses, in our Capstone 1, Capstone 2 courses, we ask you to design a teaching toolbox tip for this exact reason, so that you have something that you could do at the end of the lesson if you have extra time. And I love how this ties into exactly what we teach in our course, Jennifer.
Super.
So
And guys,
you.
chain stories is another one, super easy to work in, especially if you want to target vocabulary. You just covered 8 or 10 words, put them on the board, put them on the screen, and do a chain story. And it takes time, but as a class, you try to work those words into the story and then cross them off as they're used. And so each person contributes a sentence, ideally with a target word, but if they can't, it's okay. It's just you're working as a group to build a story and integrate the target vocabulary, right? It's a fun one you can do at the end. Idioms, phrasal verbs, whatever. All right, so I also wish, number 4, that I wish I knew it's okay to make mistakes. Oh, you can make mistakes? Yes. Do experienced teachers make mistakes? Yes. Do I still make mistakes? Yes. It's okay. Own them and learn from them. The question is, how do you handle them? So here's your checklist. Do you understand the mistake that you made once you become aware of it? Do you understand it? Do you need to clean up any mess you made with that mistake, right? If you wrote something in a comment, which happened to me, I have to edit the comment and correct it so that I'm giving the correct explanation. Am I learning and growing from this mistake? And then at the end of the lesson, at the end of the day, please tell yourself, all is well, I forgive myself. No matter how big or small the mistake is, I forgive myself. I teach a lot of advanced students, so sometimes I have to check the pronunciation of words because I know these words passively. They're academic words, but I don't use them all the time. So I might need to look up at, like, is it enclave or enclave? Wait, you said prospective. I say perspective. Let's check. Oh, both variations are acceptable. And if you check the dictionary and you see your pronunciation was off, you would and say, oh, wow, okay, let's listen together. Let's learn this one together. Let's all say this word. If you make a mistake, admit it, clean it up, and all is well, right? I recently confused upshot and upside, which are advanced words. I thought at first they were the same. It turns out that upside, which I knew, is a positive thing, an advantage. What's the upside of the situation? I thought upshot was synonymous. It turns out it's not. And a student pointed that out to me. We looked at the dictionary and said, oh, okay. Upshot is neutral. It's just an outcome. It could be a neutral or positive outcome. I'm never going to forget that now. I learned. Now I know. Forgive yourself. I also wish I knew that it's okay and it's good to take risks as a teacher and as a person. Learning how to teach requires exploring and experimenting. You got to get creative in your instruction. When you find things that work, yes, use them. Keep using them. But don't be afraid to try new techniques. What do your students need? Are your usual approaches not working so well? And can you vary how you present and practice target language? Try some new things. That's why we also listen to each other, go to conferences and conventions, and you find out, ooh, that's different. I'd like to try that in my classroom. Take some risks. And it's good to do this, as I said, not just as a teacher, but in different aspects of your life. It's like a muscle that you have to flex. If you become comfortable taking risks and trying new things, it will carry over into other aspects of your life. I want you to ask yourself now and share, what have I done within the past year that took me out of my comfort zone? What kinds of opportunities do I want to explore in the coming months? So think back and think forward. Melissa, Jessica, if you want to share, you can too. Did you do anything that took you out of your comfort zone? And what do you want to do that's going to pull you and expand you? Learning English, definitely, guys. I started learning Spanish 2024. I'm at the end of my second year now, and I'm woohoo. I'm a happy high beginner. I'm trying to be low intermediate. Definitely out of my comfort zone, but it's fun. Give and Yelts exam.
Yeah, we've got a lot. We've got some already learning. Besides learning English, taking the IELTS exam. I think I
Yeah.
just said that. Sorry. Be getting a job as an adult ESOL instructor. So lots of different traveling abroad, starting university, taking the TOEFL.
Mm. Singing in the choir. Love it.
I love
Love it.
that.
Keep typing, keep writing, keep sharing, because you inspire each other. If you're like, oh, they're doing that, they're doing that. And some
Yeah.
things might be like, well, that wasn't difficult. Maybe for you, but for someone else, that's their challenge. For me, in Russia, I have the picture of the phone to remind me. In the late 90s, I wanted to publish. I'd started teaching in Russia, and I wasn't happy with the books I was finding in their bookstores. They were good books, but if they came from the UK, they were too expensive for the average Russian. And I also didn't see any American English materials at the time, so I was thinking, we need some of that. So I started doing my research. I was cold calling publishers, and I had to speak in Russian. It wasn't great, but it was enough to introduce myself, explain what I wanted to do, and please take a chance on me. Let's collaborate and let's publish some American English materials. Called, and finally found some people to take a chance on me. That was definitely out of my comfort zone. The camera, that old camera, reminds me when I started on YouTube, 2007, I didn't know about filming, lighting, sound. I just pressed the record button and talked. Right? I was taking a risk thinking, will people listen to me? Will they like me? Will they accept what I'm offering? It was a big risk, but it was fun. And I thought, I'm just going to do it and see what the response is. And I told you, do this in other areas of your life, like singing in a choir. I've been playing the piano for most of my life, but I have had a long fear of playing in public until a few years ago I joined the town recital. They have it every spring. So there's a few of us adults who wait our turn after the kids and the teens. We go on stage and we play. And I was so nervous. I'm still nervous, but I've been doing it for 3 years now. And it's getting me more comfortable performing in general. And so I'm growing as a performer. What else do they have there, Jessica, Lissa? Anything
So
else?
we've got a lot. Actually, a lot of people are talking about immigrating. So that's a really big
Wow.
life
Huge.
change, right?
That's
Huge.
a gigantic
Definitely a
risk.
risk.
Yeah.
And then we also have a lot with teaching. Someone said, "Hey, I was a biology teacher, but now I want to teach English, or I'm teaching. I want to teach the SATs, for example." And a lot of people are talking about taking, the IELTS or other standardized exams, right, to measure proficiency levels. So there's a lot of different risks that are being taken. I think that really could be real life changing.
Yes.
Go us. That's what we need to do, guys. If we're going to grow, we have to take those risks. And remember, mistakes are okay. Doesn't mean when you try something, you're immediately going to succeed at it. You probably won't at first, or maybe you will, but it's okay to try and keep trying and make that progress. It's harder with a language, isn't it? Right? It takes time. Like I'm 2 years into Spanish and I'm still high beginner, but I'm making progress and I'm proud. I'm trying. I also wish I knew when I first started teaching that your students' mindset and mood matter, right? We have to think about how they're feeling, what they're thinking. They do, because socio-emotional factors determine how receptive our students are to learning. Are they ready for the lesson? Are they focused and in a good place? We all know that when we're upset, if something's going on, our mind isn't fully clear and ready. And you also have to think about what thoughts and prior beliefs they're bringing into the classroom about language learning. I like to talk about definitions, meaning how are they defining fluency? When they say, well, I'm here to be fluent. But do you understand what they mean and what they're thinking about fluent? If a student talks about having that perfect pronunciation, that perfect grammar, like, what do you mean? Perfect. You need to have some opportunities to get these definitions out there and discuss them, because those unhealthy their mindset and their mood matter. How are they defining success and language learning? And let's be clear that it should be a healthy definition. Everyone can have their own definition of success, but surely we can help them develop a healthy one. So you ask right now, what are your students' expectations of themselves, of you, of the lesson, of their experience? What can I do to help them build a healthy learner mindset? We're not just teaching English, we also want to model. Many of you are speaking English as a second language. Many of you speak 3 or more languages. Model this, talk about it, right? Talk about your own language learning experiences and help them build that healthy learner mindset, because you can be the model. And sometimes they can be models for each other. And when you see that, wow, that's great, Maria, what you're doing. Did you guys hear what she just did? And share it if it's okay to spotlight someone like that. What can you do to help them maintain that healthy mindset? So here's a little tip, is to encourage the healthy mindset through healthy self-talk. We all hear talk, the voices in our head, or things that we say out loud about ourselves. And we can give them positive statements, affirmations, we often call them, to build that mindset and possibly replace any negative self-talk they may be holding on to. So the QR code is a collection of learner affirmations. If you follow me on social media, English with Jennifer, YouTube, Instagram, wherever, I usually post these on weekends. But on Patreon, if you sign up as a free member, you do have to give an email, but it's free. I collected all of these images. There's like 80, 90 of them by now. If you like any of them, download them, use them, share them with your students, or maybe they'll inspire you to write your own. Maybe you can write them with your students, right? If you have a healthy thought today, let's start the lesson with a positive thought. Anyone want to share? And ask them and write that statement, share it. When I had a student the other day who said, oh, I know my sentence structure is like really bad, but I'm like, wait a second, let's start with that. But you just said a number of sentences that were very clear to me and I understood well, which means your sentence structure is good. It's good enough to communicate to me clearly. So it's not bad. We can all improve. Let's say, I know more today than yesterday. I am improving my English. My English is getting better every day. I choose to believe in myself. These statements matter. With repetition, you're building that healthy learner mindset. Agreed? Thumbs up? Past experiences motivate them. Yes, share your stories, guys. Share them. Share the positive ones. And if it's negative, how did you grow from it? Share that. Okay? And how do you set healthy expectations? Just what we're doing. Talk about it, share your stories, share experiences. This is a YouTube playlist on learner mindset. I have some short videos. You can say it in your own words or share mine. I address myths. I call them myths about, that you have to learn English as fast as possible. And I'm like, does it really have to be fast? Or do we want to talk about consistency and quality rather than speed? Right? Because I'll tell you, on YouTube, there's a lot of emphasis on learn English in 6 months, get fluent, watch this video and boost your fluency. Yeah, in 60 seconds, right? Or having to sound like a native speaker. It's out there. Those messages are out there. So I address them in some of my videos. I also have videos on morning and evening affirmations. Please take a look. If you like them, share them, or let them inspire you to write your own. Okay? I learn from all your mistakes. Yes, yes. I love everything I'm seeing. Anything else you want to add here, Alyssa or Jessica? Set the healthy expectations. It matters.
It so matters. I'm really just appreciating hearing you share this, Jennifer, and just even saying, like, share our successes and our failures and what we learned from them. Like, let's humanize ourselves to our students. And,
Yes.
yes. Yeah, love this.
I have my whole story about my French failure, but how I grew from it. I grew from it, and I'm a better Spanish learner now and a better Russian learner now. So Last one, drum roll. I wish I knew that if I'm not healthy and strong, I can't give my best. And my students deserve the best. Think about that. You have to start from a healthy place. You want to teach, you want to help, you want to inspire, you want to guide. How can you do that if you're not at your best? So you need to practice this. Take care of yourself. Best practices start from a place of confidence and positive intentions. I didn't know everything. I knew so little when I first stepped into the classroom. But you had to have that belief that I have something that I can offer even now, and I'll keep growing and I'll keep learning, and then I'll have more to offer. Have the confidence that wherever you are right now, you have enough to guide and to be of value, and just keep building. That's what we all do. Anytime you face a big challenge, oh my gosh, your supervisor's coming in today to observe a class, or I'm going to have my first keynote on stage. Yes, I was nervous. What do? Do you meditate? Do you have a prayer? Do you have an affirmation? What's your way of getting ready for a challenge? I usually say, Lord, put me at my best and I'll do my best. And then I go, right? How do you get yourself ready for those challenges? Start from a place of confidence and positive intentions. Okay? Practice self-care. Practice self-care. I'll start, and maybe Alyssa and Jessica can chime in here. I remember classroom teaching, full-time teaching. I remember lesson planning, homework correction, and I didn't know always how to fit in anything else other than quickly eating like 15 minutes before my next lesson. You have to take the time to sleep, to eat, to exercise, and to have fun in your life. You also have to have time for your family, the people that you said were in your circles. Make time for them too, because you need to have that healthy balance so that you're walking into the classroom from a good place. It's so important to prioritize your care, your self-care, right? So I do this. I make sure I've added more fun into my life in the past few years. So I put in Tai Chi once a week. I have my Spanish lessons, sometimes my Russian lessons, right? I play the piano. I take lessons every other week. I put that into my calendar to make sure that I'm whole, that I'm growing, and that I'm having fun. Anyone, what are you guys doing? Jessica, Alyssa, you can share. I'm also seeing what people are putting.
Yeah, I was just looking in the chat. But yeah, this Lynn is saying she never ate breakfast, but now she realizes it's so important to give her the energy that she needs.
Yes.
And so exercise as well is a.
And I have a colleague, and he stays up late at night. And I used to resent this when I was a mother of small children. And I'd have people like, just make time, do the first in the morning, just take care of yourself. I'm like, do you know what it's like to have small children? And like you can't wake up necessarily and immediately start caring for yourself. You have to make breakfast, get them ready, see what's going on, and there's other things in the household. But there's still time within the day. That's where you need to schedule it in. My one colleague makes sure that he exercises at the end of the day because he can't fit it in before classes. So think about how to schedule time so that you're taking care of yourself and making time for others.
Yeah, we put a lot of trying to balance a work-life balance.
And shout out, is it ABD? Emerson? Self-development. Yes, there's professional development, which we're doing, and self-development, which I have prioritized in the past several years. I did not so much before. Self-growth means you're growing as a person, which means you have more to offer. Because I've done roller skating, taekwondo, tai chi, all of this, I have more to draw from and put it into my lessons. You have to live life, and then you can draw from it and create more exciting, engaging lessons and share that. So take care of yourself. Ask yourself, am I taking care of myself? I've prioritized sleep. I have a little whiteboard, and I take the time to write every morning how many hours I got, because I need to know, am I hitting my target of 7 to 8 hours every morning? Right? Am I being fair in how I evaluate success, my success as a teacher? And if we have time, I can go more into that. But this is beyond what your supervisor evaluates. This is beyond peer feedback where they might grade you on a scale of 1 to 5 or something. Do you have a way to evaluate yourself so that at the end of the day, you're measuring up to your standards and not other people's. Very important, I think.
Jennifer,
and what kind of,
sorry,
yeah.
I was just going to say, someone put in the, I think Maud put in the, about feeling too guilty about leaving my students or work. So I think that is actually a common feeling that a lot of teachers have. So how would you address that?
It took time for me to get that too. And you push, and you're going, and you realize how much more can I do this? And you just keep pushing until we all heard the term burnout. It's going to happen, guys, at some point if you don't do this. Your body is going to break down. At one point, I was pushing and suppressing all these little problems from head to toe surfacing in my body. And I was hesitant or to acknowledge that every little thing happening from head to toe in my body, from headaches to foot problems, whatever, digestive issues, were messages from my body saying, you need to take care of yourself. But it was like red messages like, yeah, archive that one. You need to pay attention to those messages and take care of yourself, because if you're not in a good place, you will not be able to serve. We are all teachers. We have chosen this path of service, but you cannot serve if you don't serve yourself first. And this doesn't mean watching Netflix for 6 hours every night or making sure that you have that 1 hour leisurely lunch. It's not going to happen. But you can certainly create a better balance to make sure that you're taking care of yourself and not feel guilty, because in fact it's our responsibility to be in our best place so that we can deliver our very best. It's our responsibility to be healthy and offer them the best. And this also, it's physically, mentally, spiritually, right? Do you have elective practice? Journaling, blogging. I gave you a link to my blog. Did I put that here? Yes. This might give you a link specifically to a post that I wrote for first year students, but my WordPress blog, different from my website, is WordPress. It's English with Jennifer. I do interviews, and every time I interview somebody, I ask them, do you have advice for new students or new teachers? And also, do you have advice for experienced teachers? So I ask everybody to pass along their words of wisdom. So dive in, have fun. But you need to reflect too, whether it's a journal. You don't have to publish it like I do, but reflect, because that's also very important. Take the time, even 5 minutes, to reflect. You might be required by your program to submit reports. Often that's a practice. But you also want to reflect on your own, right? Oh, thank you for putting that. I also want to say you can adopt a teacher's pledge. I wrote this a long time ago. I was inspired by my dad, who is a physician, and I realized doctors have pledges. Word people is too. Shouldn't we have a pledge? And so I want to share that briefly with you. Do we have time for me to read that, ladies?
Absolutely.
Okay, so share a different way. Okay, guys, this is my website. I hope you can see it, englishwithjennifer.com. And there's student resources, teacher resources. Right here at the top is the teacher's pledge. And I will try to zoom so you can see it better. I wrote this for myself. You're welcome to use it. You're welcome to adapt it, write your own. But I promise this. With great pride and satisfaction, I call myself a teacher. I pledge my dedication to my vocation. With humility, I ask you, my students, to accept me as your teacher. With respect, I ask you, my colleagues, to support me, and I will do the same for you. I pledge to make full use of my skills and talents in order to offer the best instruction of which I am capable. I promise never to stop learning, for a teacher should always remain a learner too. When I make a mistake, I promise to correct it and learn from it. I will never ask more of others than I ask of myself. I will exercise patience and tolerance in my classroom, be it traditional or virtual, and I will foster a supportive environment for all my learners. I declare my passion for my profession, but if burdens ever become too great and affect my desire or ability to teach, I will step out of the classroom and rest as needed so that I can return to my students and offer the instruction they deserve.
Very deeply resonates with me, Jeff.
It's great. Love it. I think we all should do this practice.
Yes.
Build our own pledge. Yeah.
Let's go back. I hope that inspires you to take the pledge or to create your own, right? Right. If you're in a class, maybe you can write one together for your group of trainees. Okay? Teaching should be joyful. That's my final message, guys. It should be joyful. But you have to come from a good place with positive intentions and self-care. And just as I tell students, happy studies, I'm wishing you happy teaching. Happy teaching. It should be joyful. So I thank you all.
No.
All well. I hope you take away. We might have time
Yes,
for
we
Q&A.
do have
Alyssa,
some time.
Jessica, let us
And
know.
also, while we're doing the Q&A, if you could please fill out this feedback form by either scanning the QR code, or I'm going to put in the chat the link to the feedback form. That we would appreciate it. Thank you. So one question we had, Jennifer, is from Shabnam, and they ask, since I'm a new teacher, it is sometimes hard to manage the student's behavior when I'm teaching. For example, I have a student and he sounds like he gets distracted, and I tell him to go and sit somewhere else, but he refuses my instructions and makes sounds and disrupts the lessons. And do you have any strategies, especially for classroom management for newer teachers?
Fully when I was doing categories classroom manage. It didn't always have full students. It was difficult. Probably for that reason, I switched to teaching adults. But when I was in Moscow, I taught kids, teens, and adults. Kids were easy to gauge through the stories and games. Teens were rough. Teens were hard. And then adults, they're there by their choice. It was much easier. The teens admitted their parents were making them come. So I think it could start with, one, them seeing value. They going to get out of it? It's in YouTube, not so you have to start. You are so excited to deliver your lesson, but do they know the value of what they're going to get and why they should listen? So you could start from also, why are they learning English? Passion and purpose, remember that? So you're starting from your passion and purpose, but maybe you need to make them aware of it sometimes. Like, even if your parents are making you come here, why? Why are you going to learn English? How's it going to change your life? What doors do you think it can open for you? Even if it's more like, because you can play games in English. Fine, if that's your passion. But tap into their passions and make them aware that this has value, guys. This can change your life. And share those stories about how English changed yours.